hear
Morning.
you. There he is.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you there.
No
Hit a
worries. How you doing,
button.
buddy?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing really good. So you got the thumbs up to do this? It
Yes. Yes,
good. I'm
I'm
just saying,
good to go.
powers that be. All right, very cool. Well, I appreciate you joining me on this. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get rid of one of these earpieces here. One goes on my phone, the other one goes to the computer, and so it pays to be a little schizophrenic sometimes.
Yeah.
And let's see here. Put all this away. Well, very cool. I don't know if you had a chance to watch any of the podcasts that we've done already with some of our other Accelerant partners, but we've been having kind of a fun time with this. So thanks for joining
Yeah,
us on this.
absolutely. Happy to.
Very cool. We try to go no more than 30 minutes, but I definitely want to find out more about you, what you do, why you do it, who you do it for. Obviously we're business to business, we'll say partners from the standpoint of how we know each other. But give us a little bit of
hmm
background on you, who you are, what you do, where you're from, how you got in the business,
Yeah.
et cetera.
Yeah. No, I mean, happy to. My background, I'm from Stockton, California originally. So just a little bit south of Sacramento. I was born and raised over there. Grew up my whole life over there, all throughout high school, and then made the move over to Arizona as I was coming across states to go over to ASU. I
Got
actually
it.
attended ASU
Go
for
Devils. All
sports.
right.
Yeah, exactly, for sports journalism of all things, which
Oh,
certainly
wow.
not the path that everyone who gets into the business goes on to. But it is also an industry where I think there is, sometimes there are some people who come from different backgrounds and get different degrees, and then ultimately get into
Oh,
things and get the license and kind of just see if they can make a career out of it, which is what I'm,
yeah.
in the process of trying to do. So that's what
Good.
brought me over here to Arizona.
Fantastic. So Stockton, California, that you
hmm
said south of Sacramento. I've never been there.
Yeah,
I picture kind
it's
of smaller town, a little more
yeah.
rural, or is it
There's
more?
yeah. I mean, yeah. It is. It's actually decent population. And I think it's about 300,000 something people, 350 maybe even now.
Okay.
So not the smallest of places, but
No,
but yeah, certainly not some of the big cities in California you can see either in the
for
Bay
sure.
Area or in Southern California.
There you
So it's a
go.
little hidden in that sense. It's just kind of tucked away just in the valley. So it's close to everywhere, which is nice. That's
There
what
you go.
it's not exactly the most popular spot for everyone to live, but it's at least convenient to all the different other cities to go check out, whether it's the Bay Area, going to San
Gotcha.
Francisco or San Jose, and it's close to Tahoe as well, which is great to
Hmm.
go up ski over there
Oh,
and
for
all
sure.
sorts of fun stuff.
There you go. So how'd you pick ASU?
I picked ASU. I was looking at some different schools, looking to stay on the West Coast, just kind of stay close to home. But yeah, I looked at some different schools. There was probably a list of six or seven maybe that I had in mind. Originally I really wanted to go to USC because my dad had gone there
Okay.
and graduated in '88. So I wanted to be able to continue the family lineage and going over there after growing up watching
Oh,
games with him and becoming a
sure.
fan and really liked it. And also just, being in LA is not too bad and not far
Hmm.
from home either. It's a drive or a short flight.
Yeah,
So that was really where I wanted to go. But as I was kind of navigating and looking at my options, I came across ASU and the sports journalism program they had and the Walter
sure.
Cronkite School. And
Of course.
I think, kind of just, before I knew it, fell in love with it. And it's just funny because I remember my dad was the one that first brought it to my attention. And, he knew I
Oh,
wanted to go to USC, of course, but he was like, hey, ASU has this really good program for what you're looking to
yeah.
do. And, I think it can be, worth checking out. And sure enough, we visited, me and him, and then had orientation. And before I knew it, I was a Sun Devil. And, it's funny how things play out, but I'm
Right?
happy they played out the way they did. Even though I
Well,
didn't continue with the degree I came over to school
right.
for, I'm still glad I did come over to ASU.
That's awesome. Well, good for you. And obviously you stayed after graduation, so here you are.
Yeah,
And so tell us who you work for and what you do.
yeah. So I work over at Lee and Associates, and I'm on the Capola Cheney team over here. I've been working with these guys since August of 23. So,
Okay.
2-ish years now. I think 2 years and
Yeah.
3 months or so. So I've been
Right.
doing it for a little while now, and just learning the business and just on a really good team to be able to learn from guys that have been doing it for decades.
Right.
So it's really a good environment too here at Lee, with a lot of senior brokers who have a ton of
Gotcha.
experience in the business, and my team and I, just to be with guys that that they've seen the market in a lot of different phases throughout their
Right.
careers, and to
Yeah.
get to learn from them and just kind of learn the process of running deals
Got
and
it.
learning the market and just seeing how I can help out.
Yeah.
And it's important too, because as someone who's not originally from here, that's part of the battle, right? It's like learning a new
Right.
market somewhere I'm not
Sure.
familiar with. And, you know, when I was back at ASU, it's like, yeah, I kind of knew, where Tempe is and downtown Phoenix and all that, but
Sure.
didn't really know the full scope of it. So it's been a good
Oh,
experience. So just learning from those guys, and, it is a great environment over here. I love
good
it.
deal. So, and just for clarification, you guys are on the commercial real estate side as opposed to
Yes.
residential real estate side.
Hmm.
So when you say broker, a lot of people are thinking, wait, is he a financial advisor? Is he in
Yeah. Yeah.
investments?
Yeah.
Is he in real estate? Is he residential? So commercial
Yeah.
real estate, describe typically the product that you guys are helping people buy and sell or
Hmm.
lease.
Yeah, so our bread and butter is office space. That's what
Okay.
we specialize in. I don't know what the number is live as of this year, but I know last year 80% of our transactions were in office,
Okay.
primarily on the leasing side of things. We help out with sales as well, but primarily the leasing side of things with offices, where a majority of the transactions we do are. But we do
Okay.
a little bit of everything as well. So a little bit of industrial here or there, maybe some
Okay.
retail as well.
All
So a
right.
little bit of everything. Not There's not a deal out there that we haven't run or haven't come across.
Okay.
But yeah, office is certainly the focal point.
Gotcha. And are you purely just Phoenix metropolitan? Or you do branch out to Arizona, all of Arizona? Are you national? Because you guys are
Hmm.
tied to national agency, right? So
Hmm.
you've got,
Yeah, yeah. So
okay,
we've
tell us
got
about that.
Yeah, so we've got Lee has different locations, different offices all throughout the country. So I don't know what the exact number is now. And I might be wrong on this, but like 70 to 80 offices or so,
Oh,
give or
wow.
take. So quite a
Okay.
bit of offices throughout the country. And yeah, we do work nationally, kind of like with just office being the focus. We do focus here in Arizona in state and kind
Sure.
of in the valley, of course. That's where most of the deals we do take place at, with local groups we work with.
Hmm.
But we do also work with some national groups as well, who have different real estate portfolios, where we're collaborating with different brokers and different markets locally, who have that insider local knowledge on their market the way that we do here.
Got
So
it.
we're always collaborating with different groups to be able to help anyone out. So if they need space here in Phoenix, great. And if they want to expand operations, and maybe they have a headquarters here, but they're looking to do some things elsewhere, then we're able to do that as well.
That's awesome. And I mean, how do you get into this? I mean, coming out of
Hmm.
school and so many different things you could be doing, and to
Yeah,
jump
yeah,
into commercial real estate.
I got into it through my dad. Kind of the same thing with ASU and him guiding me in that direction. He's
Okay.
always been a huge part of my life, and kind of just helping guide me through trials and tribulations on how to just
Sure.
create a life and be successful. And he had just kind of brought it up to me, because he himself had a license himself, and
Oh,
he's now a
okay.
broker. But the
Oh.
background with that is he was in the steel pipe industry for decades, but he
Hmm.
did have the license. He just didn't really use it a whole lot, maybe a transaction here or there, but otherwise he wasn't a real estate agent, he wasn't a broker, but he
Okay.
had the license, continued to hold on to that. And then after doing what he was doing in the steel pipe industry, with kind of his construction and piping background, he made the switch, and he changed things up a little bit later in his
All
career, and
right.
went ahead and pursued and put that license to use. So he's been a broker. Uh, I think, let's see, about 6 or so years now. So he's been doing that for a little while now. About when I started back, at ASU, is really kind of the timeline I always look back at. And he's enjoyed it. It's been fun for him, and he kind of mentioned to me when he kind of could tell that I wasn't sure if I was going to continue to pursue my career path with the sports journalism, to maybe just simply get the license, and it doesn't hurt
Sure.
to at least try. And then that way, once you have it, it at least gives you more opportunities and more foots
For
in the
sure.
door to pursue other avenues. And one of the things I did when I was at ASU was just getting a business minor as well to kind of just give myself more opportunities. And I
Yeah.
think kind of when I was in the mindset of getting that, it made sense to, try and get the license for that too.
Sure.
Because what some people don't know with the license here in Arizona is it applies to residential or commercial. I end up going the
Okay.
commercial path, of course, but it is the same license. It's mainly geared towards residential as far as what you learn and the actual
Right.
exam itself. But yeah, sure enough, I chose to go the commercial route since he liked it. He thought maybe I would as well, and the rest is kind of history. It's kind of
I
funny how
love
things
it.
come together. Yeah.
Exactly. Wow, that's awesome. Now, does your license transfer to other states? Are you able to do business in California? Or
So yeah, so sorry not to cut you off there.
yeah.
So as far as the license goes, it would just be for here in Arizona. Some states
Okay.
they are reciprocal,
Okay.
but Arizona is one where the license is good for the state. It's not reciprocal for other states the way that some are. So that's
Okay.
where like if we are working with a group who has locations in other states, that's where we would go to the local brokers that we've
Mm,
worked with in the past who have the local knowledge and can help
got it.
facilitate that way so they can help
Gotcha.
out with deals like that since our
Okay.
license doesn't apply.
Very good. There's so much going on from the technology space in
Hmm.
Arizona with Taiwan Semiconductor, TSMC coming to town, and all the money that basically has been committed to helping that grow in the state of Arizona. How's that affecting you guys?
Yeah, no, I mean it certainly is, right? Because there's a lot going on with that. There's been a lot of large companies that are coming over and exhausting a lot of resources into the state to move operations over here, and because that's creating a lot of jobs. And with those jobs, typically the way it works with the industrial side of things is when you have a big workforce coming over, or maybe it's even a local workforce who's already here in state who's going to pursue those jobs in those warehouse spaces. That typically means that there's going to be some need as well for some office space.
Right.
Just because if you have a big operation here, likely going to want to have some back office as well
Right.
uh, in order to help support that. So typically, with that kind of growth, while it's directly involved with the industrial side of things, not so much office, which we see day to day. Don't mind me just fixing the camera a little bit here. See it sliding on me. It is certainly helping with demand for sure.
Are you seeing prices starting to go up as well?
A little bit, like on the leasing side of things. I had gotten one of our more recent market reports just to kind of reference, and asking rents have gone up a little bit, not a whole lot, but certainly going in the right direction, kind of signaling there's been some more demand when it comes
Okay.
to the office space kind of thing. And with COVID and kind of when I got into the business was when there was the slowdown with office
I
space,
was
and
going
there
to
was
say I was going to come back to
I
timing
came
in a
in at
minute. I
an
mean,
interesting time, yeah.
you came in at a crazy time.
Yeah, yeah. So sure enough, the demand for office wasn't totally there with the post-COVID world. There was a lot of remote work,
Right.
or at the very
Yeah.
least, hybrid work. Maybe it's not 100% remote, but maybe it's kind of, you know, these employees come in Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You guys come in Tuesday, Thursday, kind of thing,
Right.
and otherwise working at home for the remainder of the week. So that is something that was interesting
Hmm.
about when I got into things, and one of the things we've slowly seen is kind of coming back a little bit.
Yep.
Net absorption was positive this last quarter, which
Okay.
means that there's been more space getting leased out versus vacated. So that's a
Okay.
positive sign as well.
Right.
So some good indicators that things are kind of slowly but surely coming back. They're not what they were before COVID, but certainly
Right.
going in the right direction.
Well, that's great. Okay. So with all that else that's going on the leasing side, if there's a company out there that's thinking about maybe making a move, making a change, what kind of if you when you first sit down with somebody to talk about, either going into a new space, what kind of questions are you asking them?
The questions we're asking them is, what are you looking for with this office? Because the big things that we want to make sure is, what size range are you interested in? Do you have a budget in mind? Which most companies do, as far as how much they're willing to
Sure.
allocate towards that kind of thing. So just being as clear as possible as far as what's important to them. If it's office space, how many private offices do you need? Because every use is different, and
Sure.
every group has kind of a different vision for what type of space they're looking for. Some want it wide open and collaborative, and others, maybe it's a law firm where they want private offices so that when they're making calls and going over stuff with
Hmm.
clients, they have privacy. So it just
Right.
depends on what each group is looking for, and we try to just go over the process with them and see exactly what kind of checklist items are important to them, and then from there
Okay.
we can create a search and really narrow down some good options for them so that we can eventually get out touring.
Got it. Well, what kind of trends are you finding out there? Um, what I've been hearing is that on the commercial side, on the leasing side, we're seeing more amenities being provided
Hmm.
or being offered by these buildings,
Yep.
some especially the Class A, where to
Hmm.
be competitive, they've got gyms. And what are you seeing out there from the building ownership perspective that they're doing to try to entice more people to lease in their buildings?
Yeah. Yeah, no, we're certainly seeing that. You're right on about that. That's been the trend, and some of these buildings and these landlords, they're putting on a ton of money into these
Really?
amenities. And the previous building we were in over the Bond over on 32nd and Camelback, that was where we were previously at. Our office was, and once we ended up leaving and moving just down the street. There was all these different renovations that were being done to add all sorts of crazy things. I mean, conferencing, some of the more basic stuff that you can see groups using, which is the conferencing facilities.
Hmm.
Maybe it's gym or training facilities, which is always a great plus for
Hmm.
employees. Save some money on a gym membership, right?
Right.
Have it all in one place, and just all sorts of other stuff as well. I mean, there's sleeping pods. There's kind of like a billiards
Really?
room. Yeah, yeah, all sorts of things
Okay.
that you wouldn't typically think of, as opposed to the more normal, maybe like a coffee shop. That's a
Right.
little more common, of course, right? But yeah, there's been some different stuff that we're seeing as well, because I mean that's the name of the game as far as increasing interest and gaining activity with different tenants is being able to highly amenitize a building. And you
Sure.
gotta you gotta be able to give groups a reason to want to come to work, because that was part of the
Yeah.
the post-COVID world was how do you get groups to want to go back in, and one of the
Right.
ways to do it is to incentivize with different additional bonuses as well.
Got it. I got you. The we talk about the local market, obviously the national market. You guys kind of keep an eye on anything nationally, any trends that you're seeing out there, whether it's the kind of companies that are moving around, or pricing in general, or new construction of buildings. I mean, kind of give us kind of an overview of the market, both locally and nationally, if you could, yeah, for whatever
Yeah.
you know there.
Yeah, no, I mean, locally, the demand here is, like I mentioned, it's been increasing. It's slowly been coming back.
Okay.
Phoenix, for a while has been a hot market as far as the industrial side of things, and maybe not so much on the office side.
Okay.
Since I started industrial, tons of different groups like we were just talking about with TSMC coming on over here. So there's been
Yeah.
activity on that front as far as kind of, a more general overview of commercial real estate, maybe not
Hmm.
specifically office. And then as far as nationally goes, I think as far as the office world goes throughout the country, reading a couple different articles here and there about there being some increase in demand and just
Okay.
some more deals taking place in some of the markets that were maybe hit a little bit harder back when COVID really first hit and kind of continued over since then.
Okay.
So it seems like there's been some more activity in some different larger markets. Phoenix being one of them. So it's been good to see. I can't speak too much on it just because I'm
Sure.
only keeping so much of an eye on what's going on elsewhere. But from what I can
Yeah.
tell, it seems like there's been some increase in activity, which is good
Got it.
overall.
Okay. So give me a day in the life of a commercial real estate agent. What's a typical day look like for you?
Yeah, it's funny. I remember when I, was first kind of starting to get into the industry and talking with different guys just to kind of learn and ask that exact question so many times, and it was always the same answer. It was always, it's so hard to say because every day is so different. But I
Okay.
guess if I could try to kind of break down a normal day as far as just kind of some normal things that go into the day, it would be, having calls with clients, running different searches for them as well. being able to have meetings, whether it's internal meetings with my team and I, so that we can kind of go over plans for strategies that we want to employ as a team and how, ways to improve. And then other things would just be going out into the market, checking out different buildings, doing tours, of course, getting groups through spaces, and then negotiating proposals and all that good stuff. So much that goes into the day, but I guess those are just some of the
Okay.
basic things that go into the day.
Got it. It's pretty typical for somebody new in the business to join a team to get started. This doesn't sound like
Hmm.
residential real estate. I mean, you get your license, you do the 90 hours, you pass the test, and then, congratulations, you're a realtor. Go
Yeah,
find a client. And
yeah,
they
yeah.
they can struggle on their own. A lot of them don't
Hmm.
join teams because they don't do maybe a whole lot of business. Commercial
Hmm.
seems to be a little different.
Yeah, yeah, I would say so. I mean, I can't truly speak on the residential side because I don't have the perspective of it, but I would say that yeah, that is kind of the difference. I would say is with commercial. Yeah, it is very team based. I mean, there certainly are brokers out there who are kind of lone wolves per se, and kind of
Okay.
work just with themselves and don't really have a team around them. But I would say having a team is it's fairly common, especially when you're starting out.
Yeah.
Like when I first started, that seemed like the only way to do it. Is to be able to find a
Sure.
good team to learn. Just because you could certainly hit the ground running and you know try and see how that goes.
Good
But
luck
I
to you,
definitely,
right?
yeah, exactly. There's just so many things you need to learn, and I talk to some of the older, more experienced guys in my office, and they say it themselves. We're always learning too. Like every day, you learn something new, right? And
Right.
especially when you're first starting out, like it's I think it's crucial to find a good team to work with, and just to be able to learn all the little nuances of deals and just
Right.
all the tricks of the trade. So it's good to be on a team when it comes to
That's
that.
when I talk to the commercial guys that I know, like you, compared to my typical client starts out as referred by a realtor, and so but
Hmm.
it's a residential realtor, and I'll get a call from a realtor saying, "Hey, I got a client that needs to get qualified for a home loan." And it's such a personal, and buying a house
Hmm.
is, it is an emotional, decision, and it's what color of the walls, and location, of course, is always important, but it's always so much more personal on the commercial side. And I do small commercial lending up to about 3 million. It's business. It's numbers. Do the numbers make sense? What's the cap rate on it? Does it really work for us? And either yes or no. It's not like we're going to live in this. This is where I'm going to sleep. This isn't where the kids are going to be raised. There's schools have nothing to do with it. I always find your side so intriguing because it's numbers. Do the numbers
Hmm.
work? Does it have what we need? Is it in the right location? All right, let's get it negotiated. And if it works out, great. If it doesn't, let's find something else. Where the residential is so kind of crazy, and it's
Hmm.
so emotional, and then the sellers of the home get emotional about leaving their house and who's buying my, and all of that. That just doesn't seem to be the case on the commercial side.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I would say, yeah, that is one of the key differences that I've heard from people that have gone the residential route or versus the commercial route. I would say there certainly are still some emotions involved, just because the office in a lot of ways is the home away from home. Certainly, it's not as
Okay.
personal as
Right.
your actual home, of course, and the roof over your head. But yeah, it is number based in a lot of ways, and some groups will be more number based than others where it's like, does it pencil out? If it pencils out and we're paying this much and we're getting this much in free rent or whatever it may
Mm,
be, and the effective rate is this number, then it works. So yeah, I would say there's a little bit more of a balance between just kind of the number side of things versus
okay.
the, maybe the emotional factors or whatever it
Hmm.
may be. But
Yeah.
yeah, it is interesting though how commercial can be very similar, but also very different at the same
Right.
time from
Yeah.
residential. While they're
Well,
again they're the same license, you
I was
get to
just
do
gonna
either
say
one, but
exactly.
yeah, but you're dealing with two different types of people,
Oh,
who are buying a home or if they're looking for office or industrial space.
exactly. Exactly. Well, awesome. Well, anything else you want to share with us before we let you get back to it?
I don't know if there really is anything
Okay.
else I've got in mind in particular, I guess. I'm not always the best on the spot with thinking of other things, but this
Yeah.
was a ton of fun, and I'm glad that you thought of me to be able to
Yeah.
jump on here and have just a fun conversation with you. And I think it's really cool what you're doing with the podcast. I think that's a really cool way to go about checking in with, different members of Accelerant and just kind of,
Yeah.
learn a little bit more about everyone. And it's a great way to do it. So I'm
Well, thank
glad I
you.
could be a part of it.
So tell our viewers how to get a hold of you.
You can get a hold of me several different ways. You can reach out via email. You can reach out to me on my cell, or you could even, I would say, better yet, just the Lee website as well, or even the
Okay.
Capola Cheney website. So
Okay.
if you reach out to us on either one of those, or maybe you're driving by on the street and you see a sign of ours, feel free to give us a call for that listing or any listings. We're happy to help. So whatever it may
Okay.
be, if you're looking for space and maybe we've got some space available in one of our listings, you see when you're driving by and you call the number on the sign. Great way to get a hold of us. We'll make sure to chat with you and see how we can help. But otherwise,
Perfect.
yeah, the websites are always a great way to reach
Okay.
out to us as
Well,
well.
I'll be sure that once we get this produced, we'll make sure you get all your individual contact information on there
Yeah,
as well. So anybody
absolutely.
can reach out to you directly and pick your brain about what they're looking for and get you out there working for them. So Parker, I
Perfect.
appreciate you spending
Absolutely.
time with us
Of
today. We're going to
course.
keep it right on time as well. And I know I'm
Yeah.
going to see you soon at one of our meetings, no doubt.
Yeah. Can't
And
wait.
you getting any golf in?
I've gotten a little bit in. There's a little 9-hole course called Palo Verde. I've
Sure.
been going over there to kind of get some shots in, get some
Okay.
practice in, and it's fairly inexpensive course and just nine
Yeah.
holes. And the beauty of 9 holes, while I'd love to play 18, it's kind of like a par three course, so you're in and out
Yeah.
of there. And if you have a good nine, you're like, great, I finished and the round's over. I can't mess it up. Or you have a bad nine and you're like, okay, let's get out of here.
Exactly. I love that's a great way to think about it. A nine hole. There's so few nine hole courses in the valley
Hmm.
that Palo Verde and a few of the others are. You're right. It's a great way to get in, have a good time. If you're playing well, awesome. If you're not, let's get out of here and go have
Yeah.
a beer somewhere. So
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
awesome. Well, hopefully I'll
Uh-huh.
see you on the course here soon as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully so.
All right. Have a great weekend. Take care, Parker.
Awesome. Thanks, you
See
too.
you,
We'll
buddy.
see you
You
later.
got
Have a
it.
good one.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye bye.